Dun dun dun! Welcome to the BBC. Today, our top news story is about the recent increase in deportation in the United States.
The first Deportation Act was the Alien Act of 1798, which stated that the president could deport any alien who was deemed dangerous. However, no immigrant was ever deported under this law.
Today, thousands of immigrants are being removed from their homes and deported back to their countries on a daily basis. But still, more cross the border illegally.
But most of the time, they are simply detained in camps until they are able to be sent home. Home, for most of these people, is not a welcome place. Most have come to America to escape harsh political and economical difficulties in their home countries.
Some of these aliens, as they are called, have been living in America for generations, establishing families, friends, and a life.
Today, we interviewed civilians about what they think should be.
So Frederick, what do you think about deportation in general?
Well, I think deportation is a criminal act, and it's really bad because people are deported against their will in a country they don't even know, and many people are deported in young ages. They're taken from their family.
So, Fly, what do you think about deportation of illegal immigrants in the United States?
Well, it's a very interesting topic, Alex, and I've spent many hours thinking about it prior to this interview, and I believe deportation should be a process that has to go through a judiciary board. In other words, every person's case needs to be looked at individually, and those who are deserving the right to stay based on the reasons that they came should be looked at carefully, and others should be deported back to their home countries.
So, Alex, where was the first mass deportation anyway? I mean, where would anyone get this idea?
Well, Zoe, it all started with the Assyrians in 722 BC. Let's check out this clip that our reporter found.
Look, there's some deported peoples right now. They seem to be Hebrews deported by the Assyrians. Let's go follow them. Can you tell us what happened to you?
The Assyrians deported all of the Hebrews.
Why?
Because they wanted control over us and because we rebelled.
What are you planning to do now?
Well, me and my family exiled to Babylon.
I hate the Assyrians!
Well, all the best, sir, to you and your family.
Deportation in the ancient times was used for banishment and control. The Assyrians created the concepts of deportation because they feared losing control of their empire. They deported many native inhabitants all around the empire. Best known victims of this were the Hebrews.
In 722 BC, the Assyrians deported the Hebrews to Mesopotamia and Medes. In 597 BC, the Babylonians deported the Hebrews to Mesopotamia. In 586 BC, the Babylonians again destroyed Jerusalem and deported the Hebrews. In 63 AD, the Romans conquered and deported thousands of Hebrews.
More recent deportations of the Hebrews were in 1492, the Spanish deportation of Muslims and Jews, and also in 1942 till 1945, the Holocaust, a big mass deportation of mainly Jews, but also gypsies, Muslims, crippled, blacks, and homosexuals.
Now deportation is mainly used for illegal immigrants. The Holocaust was the biggest mass murder or genocide, and it was incredibly devastating to all those affected by it.
The Holocaust was the biggest mass murder or genocide and was incredibly devastating to all those affected by it. It was one of the greatest acts of deportation in history, and the exact number of Jews deported is uncertain, but more than 6 million Jews were deported and murdered.
This type of deportation, unlike the Assyrian and Babylonian deportation, was not about control, but rather about the ideology of a perfect race, the Aryan race. Deportation was used to get rid of those ineligible to be part of the Aryan race, therefore changing it, which were Jews, homosexuals, cripples, blacks, Muslims, gypsies, and more.
Anyone who wasn't blonde, blue-eyed, or Christian didn't fit the bill and was deported. Trains took the non-Aryans to labor to labor and concentration camps, where at the end of their stay was marked by death.
Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased.
In the past, deportation was used for conquerors to control their empire. The idea of deportation has been distorted over time for many different uses and different means.
The idea of moving native inhabitants to other land was then taken to an extreme by Hitler in the Holocaust. The idea of deportation was no longer used for control, but used to exterminate people who didn't fit the idea of the perfect race.
This extreme notion was aimed for deporting and then exterminating. Presently, deportation is mainly used for deporting people who have come into their country illegally. People will always, and have always, moved to where the grass is greener, where they will have a better economic status and a better life.
According to Mr. Harlan Jackson, there are 3 opinions about immigration in the United States. Opinion number 1. America was a country built on immigration, so illegal immigrants should be allowed to stay.
Opinion number 2. The American economy is suffering, so there is not enough room for immigrants.
And opinion number 3. There are jobs in America that no American would want to do, but immigrants would, such as killing chickens or working in the sewage systems. Deportation is a concept that affects our daily lives, whether or not we may realize it. Deportation is an idea that has been distorted for many uses over time, some to be justified and others criminal acts.
But whatever your opinion, deportation is an ancient concept and just proves that the old can still work with the new.